like personal
My
identity.
soul.
That's on
No,
government
it's true.
records. That's different.
Wait, you did go from macabre to mixed though. I'm trying to figure out.
No, I'm still macabre.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Mhm.
I just heard mixed. I'm like, well,
I'm
it's the first
always
time I heard it called you.
spoopy.
Well, see, what you thought is it was the last name. That's actually a description.
Yeah,
Ah.
it's my Homerian epithet.
Oh.
I don't know what that means, but yes.
It's like gray-eyed Athena.
I still don't know what that means. I'm so lost.
Quite mythologically sound.
All right, but what you're hearing is this is just random rantings on the Geek Down here on WEMF. I am Pat B, as you heard, and we have an awesome.
Awesome.
I mean, I am pretty awesome.
Starting off on a low note already. All right, no, we have a really good show lined up for you. We have the lowdown on the latest Blumhouse hit, like officially a hit, Happy Death Day. And dude, this comes out in the same year as Split and as Get Out, and still dominated the box office, man. So this thing is crazy. It has the momentum of a runaway freight train. Tell me, Mr. Blumhouse, why are your movies so popular? Please tell me
Good for
something
him.
about that. Please tell me something. All right, never mind. We're talking to Mr. Burns
Good for
here.
him.
And, of course, we have the lowdown on the latest indie comic out from Justin Jordan. It's called The Family Trade. And, dude, I got to check this sucker out. I'm not sure if anyone else in the house did, but it is crazy. I'll give you the lowdown in a little bit. But also, Earth Atlantis. D.
Yes.
You got the inside stuff?
Yes, dude. Pretty good.
All right.
Really enjoyed it.
We'll
Thank
have
you very much.
in-depth coverage for you in a little bit. And then going to turn it over to Mix Macabre for what?
Oh, Shadow of War. I'm here to talk about orcs. And have you heard the good news about orcs?
What kind of religious pitch you're making over there?
You can buy them in a box.
Micro.
For an extra 5 quints, you can get them a tick bath and then spay them.
Shillings.
All right, what kind of currency do they use in Mordor?
I'm pretty sure it's like vomit and blood or
Oh.
something. It's mostly grog, it
Right.
seems like.
I'm not paying those taxes.
The Eye of Newts with vomits on top of
It
frogs.
should be teeth, orc teeth.
Yeah, it's true. It's probably Tark teeth. Tark being the orcish word for man.
You
Okay.
nerd. You nerd.
That was very
I'm
bad.
only venereally a nerd. My partner actually speaks Elvish proper, so.
All right, well, either way, like first of all,
Expert on
Johnny,
board.
like you're not gonna pretend you're not like deeply mired in the waters of nerdism over there.
When it comes to Lord of the Rings, I belong in the Shire. I am completely secluded from everything else that's happening in
And
the
he eats
world.
everything.
Yeah, and also I have hairy feet.
Yeah, you have
Well,
yeah,
I got hobbit's feet.
You don't have a hairy.
The hobbits is.
I am the hobbit.
No, peg leg to stand on over there, man. You've washed yourself. You purified yourself in the
We'll
waters.
get
of
to peg legs.
Nerdism.
We'll get to peg legs later.
Man, all right. Well, already off to a complete debacle of a start. But as I mentioned, dude,
Lord of the Ring episode.
I got no. It's not. Don't.
Oh,
don't put
can
that out
we?
there. Now, absolutely.
Let's go
Okay.
completely Shadow of War themed out.
I'm ready.
All right. Well, I got to check out this indie comic called The Fair Trade. Man, this was first of all, I like the artwork. It seemed kind of muddled a bit because you don't really see comics these days that are like painted, and the whole thing was very stylized. It looked like it was painted in watercolors. It was very unique, and I didn't like it for the first couple of pages. It grows on you, and then I realized what the effect it has on it, because everything in this world seemed very ambiguous. If you actually see the artwork, you might appreciate this, having covered Earth Atlantis, where everything looks like parchments from like the 1800s.
Yeah, I saw the cover.
Yeah, the cover doesn't really
Do it justice,
yeah, because
I saw some window clips off of Johnny, so yeah, it looked great. It looked like straight watercolors.
Oh yeah, no, it's very different, and that I had to adjust it. I had to come around to that, and by the end, I was like, you know what? No, it really worked for this kind of story because it kept it somewhat light. Without going too like deep. This is a story about
what's setting in.
Well, it's actually set in a version, quote unquote, of this world in our society today.
Oh wow!
It's set in a fictional country called the Float.
Okay.
And the Float is like the I don't know, like the Big Apple type name, like the nickname of the place. But armies from a small nation formed a huge armada, and as different countries were developing back in like the days of Columbus and them, they just started attacking suckers and
so
claiming
Fire
claiming
Nation
small
and just
land.
started destroying everything.
No, not necessarily, because the Fire Nation became a big, huge nation, and then tried to take over everyone else. Ironically, the Float, when the leader tried to get them to be the Fire Nation, the generals were just like, "Nah, you need us. Forget you, ousted."
Oh wow!
Yeah,
savagery.
No, I dig it, because then they became the sovereign nation that every other nation depends on, because they're the proper neutral ground. and not neutral like Switzerland, where it's like, nah, we stave off, but neutral like, no, we've got the guns, we've got the numbers, you can do business here because we don't feel like taking you out. Just so you know, we still run stuff.
Oh wow.
You know, yeah, it's kind of tight because they boast that they're also a sovereign nation in themselves. I'm like, yo, this is deep, this is heavy. You know, but a story like this usually goes deep, political, and
It sounded
frankly
that's why I
not
was
fun
like,
to read.
It headed in that direction. It sounded like.
Yeah, but no, they cover that in just a few like historical panels, and then get to the actual story where it's like this is a nation of pretty much free people run by democracy and committee simultaneously somehow, but they make it work, and they have police that keep the peace and order, and they have the government officials that keep the police in check. But who polices the government?
Exactly.
And they have this secret police force, kind of secret. It's more like ninjas. You know,
a lecture rocking around like.
but they're not. But they're not thieving. They're not like. Well, they are, but they're doing it for a purpose. You know, they're doing it to maintain the status quo and to keep the peace of the country. Some politician gets a little too uppity, you know, and they step in and it's like, well, I'm sorry, you got to go, hack. And it was beautiful because I love this in concept. My only beef is that the book itself, it's a little too comfortable. It's a little too comfortable in the relations with, which I usually love for works to do. When you get the first issue of something, or the first movie in something, the first game in what's supposed to be a longer series, and the writing really tries to force everything you need to know in like the dialogue.
Cram it down your throat.
Because it's like, yeah, what's wrong with an exposition page? What's wrong with the narration bar or something? Give me a page of something. Don't try to force it. It's like people just listen to the show for the first time. Well, you know, D, I'm gonna do this thing right now, blah blah blah. Because you know, D, and then so and so, and then D. What I found out was so D. What you got to understand, because I know you're also a black man from so and so, blah blah. And D, what you do is, and then D, and she, then D, and then so, and now mix. Let me talk to you, and then mix what you got to see, and then
everything's
mix,
happening
and then
so much.
Exactly. So it's just like they try to force things in and make it seem casual when it's like the most unrealistic flow you could have. This one, it's like, no, everything was straight. The problem with it is, though, I don't know these people right off the bat, and there's a quick introduction to the world, not an introduction to the players until the very end. So
wow.
just so I don't know why she's talking to her cat. Well, why she's talking to a cat, like it's a person.
Wait, you don't talk to cats like they're people?
No, I don't talk to cats like they're people.
Then you're not interacting with cats properly.
Really? I think you may be hearing something we the rest of us are not.
Look, I grew up watching Sabrina and the Teenage Witch, and if there's one thing I learned, is that you talk to your cat.
That's
like
not
people.
the same.
God,
That cat was a jerk.
movie.
All right. Well, long story short, what I'm getting at is this was a really enjoyable book. I like the artwork. I like the fact that they took chances in the presentation. And at the end, unfortunately, this is a trade, but it's a trade of a single issue. Like this issue number 2 is meant to come out, I think, in November of this year, but it's still a longer issue that's of an incompleted story. And I liked that they were hinting that this is a League of Assassins taking out the big bad in this is a potentially Donald Trump like character.
Oh,
so that was a little tidbit they fed you. Where like, okay, fine, we gonna see someone get handled in credits. Like what? Oh. And it's like in the letters page.
You see him,
but
in a nice brushed orange color.
Yeah, I got you. Just
soft tangerine,
like
or
corn silk glow of mediocrity.
Silver hair.
Yeah. Okay, so the book is called The Fair Trade. No, excuse me, no, The Family Trade. The Fair Trade is coffee.
Fair trade cost, damn it.
No, it's called The Family Trade. It's by Justin Jordan. Actually, you can check it out right now. These cats are on Facebook, and you can go to the URL. I give it a thumbs up all the way. It's called The Family Trade. You can check it out now online, and I don't think it's available physically just yet. But if you write these cats the Facebook, I mean, they made it blatantly obvious that yes, contact them, tweet at them, and let them know you are interested, you want to see more, what you liked, what you didn't like, etc. And I've never seen anyone give like personal email addresses in their letters page before, so I mean, they gave it, use it. But it's called The Family Trade. Check it out.
Neat.
All right, passing it over to Mix Macabre,
Yo, what
because
up?
they have. I'm gonna hope they can refrain from nerding out too hard and stick to something actually journalistic.
Nope.
Some journalistic integrity in this mother.
Too bad.
Give us the inside. Right. Give us the lowdown on Shadow of War.
Yes.
Shadow of War.
That's very appropriate.
Beautiful.
Shadow of War is the follow-up.
And the hobbits.
No, there's no hobbits in this.
No hobbits.
There's no hobbits in this.
Hobbitses.
In the much-awaited and anticipated follow-up to Shadow of Mordor. This follows the lovable buddy cop adventures of Talion and Celebrimbor, or as I like to call him, Kelly.
Buddy cop?
No, not at all. No, they're cursed.
Okay.
They're basically cursed to share a body. It's terrible. They're very upset about it. They're not buddy cops at all. It's bad cop and worse cop in this one. But
I don't think it was so much as cursed as that blue guy decided to take control of the other guy who was
Celebrimbor, the Ringmaker?
Yeah, the Ringmaker.
You mean one of the most important characters in all of Lord of the Rings ever?
Yes, that guy. He just forcibly took control of the other guy's dead body.
Sort of. He was already summoned for something else though.
Well, from the first game, he was a douche.
That's true. And so to follow this up, basically what happens is
pretty accurate.
This game starts off with them making a new ring to try to challenge Sauron, which goes about as well as anticipated, where Shelob, my girl, for those who don't know, that's the giant spider, she shapeshift. Mm-hmm. She basically comes and steals the ring. It's great.
Wait, no, the original ring?
No. They made a new ring.
This
they made a new ring.
Quasi ring.
All right.
This is Kelly's ring. He made a new ring.
All right, now pause real quick.
Yes.
Johnny said the original game. This isn't the first in the series?
This is, as I said moments ago, the much anticipated follow-up to Shadow of Mordor. This is Shadow of War. So the basic premise of this game is very similar in that you have this awesome thing called a Nemesis engine, which is where you have randomly generated orcs, slightly based on your decisions, slightly based on things that happen in the game, but your gameplay is not the same as anyone else's. So there are different descriptors and different types of orcs that can kind of be combobulated together. For example, my personal favorite is one that has the subtitle The Poet, which is where you have this orc that talks in basically iambic pentameter, and it's amazing.
I don't really think poet
pops out the
and
bushes.
orc
Thou
in the
art
same...
cutest, I will smash it.
Pretty much.
And that is an expansion that's new to the
it's incredible.
Nemesis system.
So it is phenomenal. They took a lot of the gameplay from the first game and really stepped it up a bunch. Another example, one that was really cute, was the Bard. And he came out and he had a little song, and my personal favorite was "Next time I fight you, I'll be ready and you'll be." And then he paused and went, "Daddy." And I was like, that just happened.
Oh,
Good times. But one of the things about the Nemesis structure that makes this game so interesting is that the things that you do to these orcs, they come back. Even if you kill them, unless you decapitate them, they will come back. So, if there's a character that you cut their leg off, they will come back with a peg leg.
Nice.
And they will be mad about it.
Oh, they hold grudges.
Yes.
Oh, do they? There's a character that I burned. I burned his
grudge.
face off, and he came back with half his face just covered in bandages. And he's like, "My beautiful face, you took my beautiful face." And then another character's like, "You were never that beautiful to begin with," and he just kills him.
Dissed him.
It's
and the story, the basic premise of it is that you have lost this new ring to Shelob, and you want to get it back from her, so you do all this stuff to get the ring back. And eventually she's like, "This is way too much trouble for me. I don't need it," and gives it back to you, and all the stuff ensues. But Celebrimbor is extra salty in this game. But the thing that makes this game so interesting, so what separates this so much from the first game, is that the main component to it is kind of this fortress takeover. So there are different tribes of orcs, and each tribe has different qualities. My personal favorite are the Marauder tribe. They are kind of like the pirates of the orc world. There's also one that's Mystic tribe. They're very ooky, spooky, necromancy. There's Terror, where they light things on fire.
What about the Home Economics tribe?
The Home Economics tribe, unfortunately, they left that one on the cutting room floor. Though there are, I haven't encountered any in this game, but in Shadow of Mordor, I did encounter a cook.
Okay, so there are chefs.
He wore a chef apron, and he had there was a human foot sticking out of a pocket. He had a bloody cleaver.
It was just a one-off orc, or was he part of a clan of cooks?
No, he was just a dude.
Dude.
You ran into him too. He's just a dude. He was
just a random orc, and he had this big axe. I was like, whoa.
Well, to find out, there's a Michelin.
Cool.
There's a Michelin star rating.
Well, you know that there are restaurants in Mordor, because my favorite moment of the Lord of the Rings movies is when they're yelling, "Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys." And to do that implies that there is a menu ever. Therefore, there must be orc restaurants.
Oh yeah, they're shopping at McGrendel's all the time.
Now, how's the level system?
So
Is it similar to the previous?
It's identical. Yeah, it's pretty much identical.
Okay.
And the main things that change, though, are again the structure of going up against these fortresses, where you are building your armies to take down and take over fortresses, where you are taking out basically a big boss, like a main boss. And one of the flaws in this game is that it's either too easy or too hard to take down a fortress. So either you strategize and you like take out their like, you know, war machines, you take out their Olokai, you take out whatever their major structures are, and then you stroll right in like it's nothing, or you just try to take it down by brute force and you will fail. Now, this could just be me messing up on my end, but like there's no in between. Either it's a cakewalk or it's impossible.
Ooh.
Oh, there's an in between. You just buy yourself to victory.
but you know what I mean? Like I
so
feel
you don't pull the old pizza delivery.
Well, the thing is, you all but do. Like, I don't want to give too much away specifics, but like, there's
give it away.
There's some twists and turns that are real, real good.
So let's hit the nitty gritty with it. So I heard the main complaint before because I just got it. I haven't played it yet. I haven't even touched it. So I heard the microtransactions are very annoying.
Yes, extremely annoying.
So why is this?
I don't know. They wanted too much flavor. They wanted like too much flavor in the game.
So it's not a greed move.
Like I feel like the add-ons for things. Like, there's a lot of skills to unlock that you kind of need.
Well, what kind of skills? Like,
well,
okay,
just,
$5 to breathe.
Yeah, that's what it is. There's the air tags.
Are we talking about your own character skills or
your own character skills? There are character skill trees that are only unlocked with purchase.
Oh, wait, that can be a good thing.
That's a killer.
Wow.
If
here's the thing that I know of.
Okay.
I have not beaten this game. I will only say that I'm about partway through.
So
I don't know what.
So I'm assuming that down the road
if by
you
halfway
might be able
through,
to earn it.
now I'm wondering, or maybe these things will be available in full larger clusters with DLC.
So here's the good indicator. You know for certain that you can buy and unlock those skills. Yes. Okay, and right now you're uncertain as to whether you can earn it just from playing. That's an issue.
Yeah. So and again, a lot of it comes back to again like. There's bugs and stuff in this game that like need to be worked out. It's only been out for about 6 days, but there's a lot of like.
Is there in-game currency?
Hecked up. Not really. That's the problem. Like they can't.
They have two different forms of currency from what I remember. They have like I don't know, this blue stuff and the gold coins, which is money, which you have to use real money for.
But the problem is that only one type applies to the skill sets. There's.
Well, if you played the Marauder class,
so if you play Marauder Tribe, you can just go raid other players for their skills. No, you can't do that. I wish you could, though. That would be amazing.
That would be awesome.
Because they have a
arrows.
They have player versus player, like takedown of fortresses. So there is player versus player. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, you can't steal their real world money. So that's unfortunate because boy, would that be fun.
But the player versus player, one player, in order to prevent themselves from getting their fortress raided and obliterated all the time,
could just stock on up. Absolutely.
Yeah, so they could just buy their way to victory.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, a cheese win.
But on a more fun mode, just the in-game stuff. Like, there's some cool character designs. You see like a nature elemental that's like super super sick. Again, Shelob like transformed basically into like a person. Because people forget Shelob is a giant spider, but like is also a shapeshifter.
All right, so I did not know that Shelob is a shapeshifter. That changes the story.
Shelob is a shapeshifter. All spiders are shapeshifters.
I can't imagine like the perverse things going on in Johnny's head right now with that revelation. Because the look on his face was like,
it's also
I didn't know.
heavily implied she bangs Sauron. Just putting that out there.
Wait, how do you bang Sauron?
He wasn't
shapeshift.
He used to be very pretty, Pat. He used to be very pretty.
Also, Shelob's a spider. Spiders can climb anything.
Yeah, see, Johnny understands.
It's not about climbing.
Johnny's read the fanfic. We're ready.
An eye has a socket, and you can.
Here's the problem with the lore. So there's.
Wait, what?
What?
So Pat's apparently having some problems.
Eyeballs fit in sockets, sockets can be.
Stop.
If there's a hole, you can put. This isn't rocket science.
No, I regret posing this line of questioning.
Also, I mean, it's They're both shapeshifters.
Okay, all right. You were saying
I've
something
never
about...
seen a physical form of Sauron. I just want
Well,
to know
he used to be.
Like,
So when
he
was known by Anatar, well, you see him in the first game.
Yeah, we did.
In the flashbacks, he was really hot.
That was hot.
That was the whole point.
Yeah, it was full
so
of
Sauron basically like made himself like he was so hot that people would just listen to him. This is not me being funny. Like in the Silmarillion, it was basically like Sauron, then known as Anatar, was the gift bringer. He was like, oh, he's so hot and he's wonderful, and people would just follow him because he was so hot. That is not a joke.
He was like Kilgrave, basically.
I don't get this reference.
Go stand in the corner and look at the wall.
Have you ever seen Jessica Jones?
Sorry, I only understand Lord of the Rings references. I'm sorry.
Jeez. Okay. Who's like the top twink in LOTR so I can?
You mean Sauron? You mean Sauron in his physical form?
Oh, jeez.
You mean old school hot twink Sauron?
I have no idea what's going on right now.
So actually, talking about the lore, this is something that like I can't speak to personally because I don't care, but I know my girlfriend's been really salty about this. There's certain elements in the game that take place like 1,000 years out of whack in terms of like Middle Earth lore, but only the like dankest nerds are gonna care.
Like you?
All right. Sorry,
no, I don't care. No, I'm
cool.
one level more cool than that.
Well, isn't the initial the whole premise of Shadow of War and the original one, isn't the whole premise out of whack because
yes. So the whole thing is that this takes place between The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
So timeline, it doesn't work no matter what. But then they included like the fall of Minas Ithil, which becomes those who have watched Lord of the Rings or read it would know Minas Morgul. So you're like, wait, but that's where the Nazgul live. I wonder how that siege goes. So that takes place like 1,000 years before this game even happens. But it's a game. This is my opinion. It's a video game. Just enjoy your video game.
And with all due respect, it's probably one of the better quality games for the franchise
looks,
ever.
Also, it looks beautiful. I also play Lord of the Rings Online, which I love, but it's a 10-year-old game, and going from one to the other, it's, it's like putting on anime from like the 70s and then putting on like the highest rendered CGI something. Like it's unbelievable the difference.
So this is like
it's just beautiful. It's stunning. The blades of grass sway in the wind. The blood splatter from a nice decapitation lands on plants.
You see the specks of puke come out of the orc's mouth.
You do, though.
I just want to know how nuanced it gets when you can, like, dismember cats and have one come back saying, "'Tis but a scratch."
Yes.
Yeah.
If you cut off one of their hands, they will come back with, like, a hook. Yeah. And be mad about it.
If you throw a knife in their eye, they'll come back with an eye patch.
Okay, you stop with the eyes. No more from the eyes.
A perfect example is, like, you could kill an orc. Like, let's say there's an orc, and I'm just going to make this up. Like, let's say there's an orc, and his name is, like, I don't know. Gertrum the Salty.
His name is Rudiger.
No,
Gertrum Ralphie Salt.
So Gertrum the Salty, and you kill him. And you cut his leg off, and you stab him in the eye. He might come back with an eye patch and a peg leg. Nice. And then if you kill him again by, like, I don't know, cutting him into a ton of pieces, but you don't decapitate him, he might come back, and now his nickname has been upgraded to the Unkillable. Yeah. And unless you cut his head off, he will keep
does that
coming.
Increase his reputation?
System.
Absolutely, it does.
So I'm increases his followers.
Yep.
Good.
Okay, so I'm just making this dude more gangster the more I take him out.
You don't have to get into every last detail, but there's something that you can do where you dominate them. Yeah. But in this game, you can also. But if they are kind of at death's door, you can also shame them, which will bring their ranking down. You can't recruit an orc whose rank is higher than your level.
Okay.
But if you shame him, you can bring him down to your level.
Hold on.
But if you shame them too much, they might go berserkers.
You can recruit orcs that are above your level if you pay real money.
Johnny's real mad about this real money. I feel it. Again, as someone who favors a free-to-play game, it's rough. It's rough.
Yeah, and the first game was phenomenal with this system, and the second one, as you said, they have improved so much of it, and I want to play it, but man, I hate loot boxes.
That's why I delayed buying it.
It's beautiful. Again, it's beautiful. The plot is very interesting. Has awesome characters in it. Great diversity of characters. I know a lot of people are very upset about Hot Sheila, but again, I'm super here for it. Like it's not my fault you want to bang the spider. Like I don't know why you're mad about it.
Why are we back to banging the spider?
Because that is the premise of the game, Pat.
Oh.
You want to bang the spider.
I don't want to bang any spiders.
It makes lore sense.
Pat, if you prefer the orcs, no one's going to judge you.
Where did we go so wrong?
There's some orcs there.
Yeah.
There's this one orc that the more you kill him, he just gets more piercings. He's just like the pain monger, and he just wants more pain. And he'll like follow you around and be like, "Yes, give it to me, kill me again." And you're like, "I don't want to."
Who programmed this game?
He like won't kill you. He'll like,
Dude,
if he's about to kill you, he'll run away. Like he'll run away and be like, "No, must have more delicious pain."
The masochistic fetish orc is the selling point for you. That's what got you in
this.
That
was the selling
point of the game.
Have you been reading my pet life?
They would literally hop out of the bushes and say the most random thing.
Well, there was
and you're dying laughing like, "Oh my god, he really
There was
said
one
that
from
to
the
me."
first game that just like had like a hammer in his brain or something, and he would just run out and be like, "Buttons!"
It's like this big metal piece.
Yeah, he would just like everyone else would like come yell at you, and he would just jump out of like the bushes and be like, "Buttons!"
And I just love the fact that you're roaming.
But here's what's so funny about
he hops
this.
Out.
But what's so funny about this, going back to that first game with that spooky arc, it was like something the mad, and he had like exposed brain. It was terrifying.
Yeah.
But he was the only one that could see Celebrimbor, because he was crazy and he had all this brain damage and was like nuts, and no one would like listen to him. But he would look at you and be like, "Why are there two of you?"
What?
He was the only one that could see it. I can't do. I can't do it. Almost all orcs. So that's, if we're getting to orc class structure, it's problematic because they mostly speak in Cockney accent.
Yeah, no.
The best part about it.
Though there is a very
two of you bloats, and I'm not feeling this.
There's a very large Australian. Actually, there's an orc. There's an orc in this game. I can't remember his last name. It's Kumail. I can't remember his last name.
Nanjiani.
Yeah, he voices one of the orcs.
Really?
In the game, yes.
Oh, that's terrible.
He voices one of the orcs in the game, and it's really, really funny.
That man does not have an orc voice.
No, but that's what's so funny about it. It's this orc trying to be like this big dude, and he's just not. And he's like really bad at the comebacks, and he'll just be like, "No, let me try that one again." And then he like tries to give you a snappy comeback, and he like can't do it.
Yeah, that's great.
It's really, really great. Like,
okay, you stay here and practice. I'm going to come back and for you. He's just that shadow dude from Adventure Time.
That's pretty much like, this is like what happens. So like we're making fun of it, but like that is an actual thing.
Character happened.
But then of course, like, you know, if you want to like sit and think about this game too much, it gets kind of a bummer because you're like, am I enslaving these orcs? Like, am I?
Yeah, that was a controversy thing I saw online. Like, people are legit pissed about that.
Well, here's the thing. You're kind of not.
The first one.
Well, also, even less so than the first one. Because in the first one, you're, like, kind of dominating their minds, and they become, like, glowing eye shells of themselves.
Yeah.
They keep their full personality in this game. And if you try and dominate an orc that, like, really is into Sauron, like, doesn't just fear Sauron and has loyalty to Sauron, you can't.
But has, like, pictures of Sauron on the wall.
Yeah, you can't take. If he has, like, pictures of Sauron in his locker, like, you cannot convert him to
calling
work for you.
Sauron and hanging up real quick, you know.
He's not having that.
He won't have it. And you're not so much as, like, mind controlling them as kind of persuading them to be like, you don't want to follow that guy. He treats you like crap. Follow me. I'll treat you like slightly better crap, and I'm hotter. And they'll be like, sounds good. And, like, you can, like, win them over. Like, you can just, like, give them tons of grog. Like, you could just give them tons of crappy orc juice.
So basically you just roofie them?
Yeah.
So it seems like they really...
Okay, so that's like really the Bill Cosby DLC. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, it has to be. I didn't know you could get them drunk. That's like going on a date.
So they really expanded into like getting these orcs.
You guys are like giving me like a
this
complex.
is you recommended this.
Awesome. I think that's awesome, man. I didn't know you could just take orcs out on a date and get them drunk and get them loopy.
Only my boy Ratbag. If I could date any orc, it would be Ratbag.
All right. The only reason I'd really get into this is for like the sadistic aspect. I love like psyops, where you could pick up the guy and slam him into the wall.
Just in terms of the brutality of some of the kills, like this is 10 out of 10 on that. Also, there's horrible dragons. Like, I really don't know what more you want. Like, there's dragons.
Why did you wait till now?
There wasn't dragons in the first one.
There's dragons now.
That's awesome.
And it's sick.
That's worth it.
And Shelob's hot. What do you want? 10 thumbs up, like, on this guy. Like,
dragons, I'm sold.
You had me at hot Shelob.
Hot Shelob.
Now I gotta play just to see what she looks like.
All right. So apparently, Sauron's a sexy twink.
That's canon. Tolkien wrote that.
Yeah.
That's not even on me.
I want to know why.
That's our Lord and Savior.
I want to know why Tolkien wrote all this in the first place.
Catholic
like,
boy.
What was he hiding?
He was a good Catholic boy.
That's not what good Catholics do. All right,
he's
good
a nice Catholic boy. That's why elves have sex like once.
I can tell you why he wrote it. Honestly.
And then they wither away because he hated trains.
Why he wrote it.
Because he hated trains.
No, I think
he hated
Lord of the Rings is because he hated trains. He hated technology. He hated technology, and he hated trains.
I read
so
somewhere.
much.
I read somewhere that he just didn't. He felt that England didn't have like a mythical lore, and he just created.
Yeah, I mean, jokes aside, I'm being silly, but if we want to get like deep into like the Tolkien wise,
it's like smoking a lot of weed in the pipe.
It's very much a like anti-industrialization love letter to like the Shire was proper old England, and we ate figgy puddings and didn't have these horrible trains. He used to like go outside his house and like yell at the passing steam train. This is totally real, guys. He hated technology.
He liked Cocoa Puffs because he was cuckoo.
All I'm hearing is like the little rantings of a crazy old man that somehow. Yeah, exactly.
That's Tolkien.
Yeah,
and now here we are.
And he did sit by the porch with the pipe.
With my boy, the pavemonger.
No, we all know
begging
Gandalf
Daddy
had
to
PCP
kill him
in
again.
that sucker.
And this is the legacy of Tolkien.
Gandalf.
And somewhere out there. You know.
Gandalf sits back for a nice pipe of angel dust.
We didn't see him sneaking the extra drop. Like,
oh my God.
Okay, so
every day we fall further from God's light.
Okay, so what's the proper verdict on Shadow of War?
Oh, it's amazing. Play it. It's great.
Thumbs up.
10 thumbs up. I already said 10 thumbs up.
Yeah, but that was in the middle of a rant. We don't know
10
if that's
thumbs up,
real.
and I highly recommend the Marauder Tribe for as many characters as you can find because they're so good.
All right, cool. And keep an eye out for the Home Economic Tribe DLC.
Yeah, that's gonna be
maggot
next.
pies and hackneyed guts.
And Johnny will pay for it first. Top dollar. Johnny's pre-ordered that sucker. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, can I pass it over to Dirty D for some more serious fare?
No, what's up, man? Nice boy.
Oh, man, you got to check out the non-Twink Sauron laden Earth
Which is just
Atlantis.
Unfortunate, really.
Earth Atlantis.
How you doing, man?
Real quick though, Pat.
Yes.
5 years ago.
Is this about Twink Sauron again?
5 years ago, Pat. Do you think that you would be here now saying the word twink multiple times?
How long have I known you?
Just about that long.
No, that was a surprise. that was very much a surprise for me.
All right, I just wanted to put that out there for our wonderful listeners and viewers.
So, jumping into Earth Atlantis. Thank you, man. Great game. One of the best little. I'm not a huge fan of shooting scrollers.
Mm-hmm.
I was back in the day, Contra and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But this one,
how you gonna turn your back on Legacy, my man?
No,
we got Shadow Complex these days.
You know what happened?
We got Metal Gear Metal Slug 47.
Halo happened to me, and I died.
Oh, you got spoiled by. Okay, come on, man. What about the club? What about Daikatana?
He said what about
club? Yeah,
Daikatana.
Yeah,
man. What a treasure.
Daikatana was great.
Daikatana.
What?
Wait, what?
I liked it.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Come on, man! I brought you on here for expert opinions. How you gonna sit there?
Oh, here we go.
That's like saying you know who had some...
Okay, how about we postpone this conversation because I would love to have it with you, and I'll tell you why. And then we just got to finish this review for you.
All right, I'm not gonna cut you down. I'm not gonna sweep the legs out
because you'll rant for about 20 minutes why I'm the most horrible person on earth right now.
Oh, I'm ready. Yo, pins and needles, my brother. So, what do you got?
Earth Atlantis.
Yeah.
Great game. It's a scrolling shooter.
This man said
now, what I enjoyed about this game, honestly, from the rip, I didn't even read a description on it. I just put the thing code in and I downloaded it. As soon as I played the game, I fell in love because the art style. It looks like a topical map, a topography map from Columbus era, if you want to call it that.
Yep.
Its art style is very archaic and old. In that sense, it's just like a really old map, and it's great. I fell in love with that. It just looks like a bunch of sketches, and I just really enjoy art on my own end of things because I used to draw. So
yeah, like an ink line work,
like a mosaic touch. It has a mosaic color feel to it, so it's really gorgeous. I wish you could. If you guys see the images on the screen, it literally looks like that.
Yeah.
You have 5 different subs that you can pick, but the first one is unlocked. The rest you have to unlock, and you progressively have to unlock these. Now, the premise of the game is basically Earth went through, like every other game nowadays, some apocalyptic event that caused everything to be sunken into the sea. All the major cities are under the water, and you are now playing as you don't see anybody. You just literally play as these little subs. And there are 38 major monsters in the water. What happened with this after the Earth was destroyed for whatever reason, because it doesn't clarify that.
You got the Kraken, you got Jenny Haley, you got the giant.
Yeah, it's great. You just immerse in this world as is, and the sea monsters merged with mechanics and metal, so robots. So basically, they're robotic fish. And what I enjoyed about this game is like they would swim in the background and then just literally come out into gameplay.
Yeah, we got to check it out at PAX, and I did notice that they use different parts of the map, so it all looks flat, but some parts are like background, some parts are foreground, and 3D effects.
Oh, I like that. Sonic did that to an extent.
Yeah. It's very much like, I guess to a much lesser degree, but for older audiences, if you recall how in Super Mario Bros. 3, if you found a white block, you duck behind it. There's like, a whole nother world. That was like a prototype like for it. World. But yeah, there's like a second part of the level to explore.
Yeah. So, with that said, you build up your power. Small fish drop power, health. P stand for the bubbles. Increase your ammunition.
You got P underwater, so
P underwater.
Not what you might be thinking.
I can so many jokes. And obviously you can add. Huh?
No, I'm sorry. Bad jokes.
This guy's putting my hand in warm water. Please take a pee.
Pat's having some goofs tonight.
Oh, stop.
And you do have a health bar. Mine's sitting around. Damage takes over time. Once you die, you start over. But it keeps.
Wait, when you say start over, you mean like R-type, one hit, you're dead?
Yeah, R-type.
And beginning of the game?
Once your health bar is completely filled, you're done. Multiple hits. You destroy, you start over. I do enjoy it because it keeps track of your kills. So when you are hunting these 38 sea monsters, and as soon as you have to explore the map, and as soon as you run up on one of them, the music changes and you know you're in a boss fight.
It's on now.
Oh.
What you got over there? What you got cracking?
I think I found one.
That kind of stuff always made me so anxious as a kid when like you hear the music but you're not yet in the fight.
There you go. Johnny's going to work with the giant bottomless squid,
and you gotta go down this corridor by yourself.
And as you progress in the game and as you increase your points and everything, you unlock the other subs actually do different things. Some of them shoot weapons left and right. Hey, go ahead, Ron.
I got the game over.
Let man play the game while he's giving a review.
And that's pretty much it. The game has a lot of longevity. It's great for the Switch because I usually use my Switch as a handheld. I very rarely play it on my TV. And I just love collecting games of this nature because it keeps me playing. It keeps me using my system that I invested in. It's very costly. It's $14. It's a very affordable
for a Switch game. That's pretty cheap.
Nah, man. Most of the Switch games are very retro, very platformish, old school retro style games, and a lot of indie developers that I've noticed. I don't know if you noticed it, but to me, that's a lot of independent developers that they're really depending on. But the games are also all really good quality. Like there are independent developers on like Xbox and PSN. They have their games, but I just don't really gear towards those. For the Switch, for some reason, I'm willing to try them. No, it's just it's the capacity that I'm playing it in. You know, I'm able to just grab these games, and when I'm at work, take a lunch break, go to work, I can play it. You know what I mean?
While I'm at work, I can play this game. So.
Yeah, so that game is $14.99.
$14.99.
And you know the marketplace for the Switch right now it fluctuates. For indie titles, it's like from $5 to $20 or $30. Yeah. Some of the more expensive ones are certainly in the $30 range, and most of those don't seem like they're worth their price of entry.
This is beautiful.
But
really,
$15 seems
a reasonable price.
Very, very reasonable for an indie game. So this looks. I was just playing it. Went through, died. So it's like a roguelike art type. That's what it seems like from what you have described and from what I've played.
Well, but no, you still keep your abilities and such when you come back, right?
No, you have to start over again. But you keep track of the kills. So when you kill one legendary monster, it's on your list. You've done it. You don't have to fight that guy again. You can explore the area again. But once you've killed him, you go. And it's great because as you progress, I've noticed today because I literally just killed the first 3 that progressed me to the big one that you just fought. So depending on what powers you add to your ship, because you can pick from bomb, mines, literally shoots out mines that literally bounce and it'll explode.
Slingshots, spitballs.
Increased ammunition. So the second one, there's 4 different subs. You start off with the Nautilus. The next one is the one that I want is Musashi because it has these lasers, like 4 lasers that come out of the side. It's constantly going. So as you travel down into these little tight corners on the top 3D, you're doing damage constantly against the walls. Because what gets you in this game is the
it's like a Gunstar Heroes weapon. Because
what gets you in this game are the crustaceans that are attached to the wall, are launching random rocks and little
tons of mines, and
that's what gets you in the game. Really, everything else can be manageable, but if you're not paying attention, you constantly have to move. You have to be very agile, very smart. It's just really fun and really epic to me personally, and the soundtrack is great.
Artwork is amazing.
I wish the soundtrack is the flaw though. It's just consistently the same song. And I wish they would. I wish the only time you get a different song is when you fight a boss, but the boss songs are the same.
Damn.
You know, and that just
is it at least catchy?
Huh?
Is it at least catchy?
Yeah, the boss song is very catchy. Once you win, you're like, oh shit, I'm in an epic fight. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
All right,
but
so
then once you go back
jamming, like, oh, this is the stuff. That's like, oh, I've been shot.
Is the world itself, is it randomly generated? So next time you play it, is the world you're exploring different, or is it always going to be the same?
It's still the same map.
Okay.
What happens, the boss disappears, but they just generate more enemies. And the enemies are literally generate. You'll scroll past one, you'll clear out a section, you'll scroll to the next side, and then you can go back, and there'll be a whole bunch of new, fresh batch of enemies. But you need that because that's what you use to build up your ammunition, your power. So instead of one shot, you increase your ammunition 4 shots at a time. You need that because you need to progress. Enjoy yourself. You can.
Yeah, we lost mix for like 4 minutes there.
What I like to comment on a game I had
for a second. I was gonna judge this game a little bit because I was just gonna be like, it just seems a little bit repetitive. But what I've noticed is that you have to use specific powers for specific bosses, and you have to pretty much earn them. So you can't just hightail it to a boss. You have to sit there, kill as you go, get what you need. Obviously your first encounter is your first encounter. So whatever. The missiles will, the Megadron, which is like this huge shark, missiles work better on him as opposed to the mine. So I didn't realize that, and then I had to go back and get the mission, the missiles. You know what this sounds like?
It was an old game that I really loved, and they did an updated version for the Xbox on XBLA. It's called Bionic Commando.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bionic Commando.
About the remake? Bionic Commando?
Both.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bionic Commando Rearmed.
Yeah.
Oh no, not that like 3D piece of we don't talk about that. The kibosh on that mess. No, the original Bionic Commando and then the Bionic Commando Rearmed.
Yep.
Was a game designed like that. You couldn't just like breeze through and go past certain points. You had to accomplish certain things to get particular items that would allow you to continue. So you could be amazing at the game, but if you didn't accomplish your mission there, you could. I mean, I'm killing dudes left and right. I'm having fun using that arm, pushing them off the platform.
Yeah.
Like, you fall off an oil derrick. You're welcome. It's a
great soundtrack on that game too.
Yeah, it'd be sadistic as hell, but unless you actually get the blue communicator, you can't actually contact your base from this level, so you can't go farther in the game. If you don't get the missile launcher, you can't knock down this reinforced wall at this point, so you can't progress past here. It sounds like they incorporated a lot of this.
Yeah, I mean, it has the same feel. I mean, but most shooter scrollers tend to. That's just me, in my opinion. There's some every so often someone will just do it really good. And really just implement a really good art style, implement a really good idea. So you're saying this isn't
the next Echo the Dolphin?
What?
You underwater, I'm saying. It's either that or, what was that name? What was that game?
Echo the Dolphin.
Yeah. No. There's another one, though, where you start off Evo.
No, I never played Evo.
Evo.
I know what you're talking about. I never played Evo.
I thought everyone says Evo was great once you become like, a big cephalopod.
I just couldn't get past like a dolphin shooting shit. Like,
that was so good, though. It's so silly.
Echo was awful.
The game where you evolve?
Yeah, the game where you start off as like a paramecium and you evolved like a big dragon and stuff.
I beat that game.
How?
What?
Really?
How? Who had the time?
You end up so when you beat the first major section, you end up starting off again, and sometimes you'll go forward in time dramatically, or you'll go backwards in time and evolve as a completely separate strain of things. So,
ridiculous.
In one point,
we're talking about this game called Evo for I think it was for the Genesis or Super Nintendo.
It was on Super Nintendo.
Yeah, it's an old game where you start off as like a single-celled organism and you literally evolve.
I never got this game. I know what you're talking
every
about.
Level was the next stage of evolution, but you can evolve as you're playing in one particular level up to a certain degree. Then you beat that level, and now you're a more developed life form, and you're progressing through. It's a very level-based type of game. Eventually, you make your way to like being dinosaurs, and you're duking it out with other dinosaurs. Then you're starting off as apes, and you're
eventually.
Going up.
I played the game.
I enjoyed this game when it was called Primal Rage.
No. This is.
And no, I'm kidding. I'm joking. I'm joking.
I played this game for. I remember very specifically when I started revisiting the old systems. And I played it for like 7 or 8 hours straight. On end.
And you didn't beat it?
Dude, the farthest I got, and this is continuously evolving, I got to like this like oversized lanternfish, and I couldn't get any farther because the game stopped being fun and just started pissing me off royal. And I remember I kept getting slapped by this thing looked like an otter. And I'm like, why can't I evolve past this point? I'm a fish, it's an otter. We're not evenly matched here. he's trying to crack my head on his belly for some reason, and I just
let the bully just take you out the game, man.
I feel like we're dealing with some like undealt with. Yeah.
Okay, you know what? No. Certain games, like, okay, it didn't sound like Earth Atlantis had this problem, but certain games.
So the otter was actually some really big
on.
guy that picked on Pat. So that's what it sounded like.
Oh man. Okay, you stop that right now.
Usually those are called bears. Otters are much smaller.
Oh,
you said otter though.
I said. Otters are not cute. The lanternfish. All right, no. What happened is I got to this sucker, and okay, you know what it reminded me of? You've played Battletoads. Everyone's played Battletoads. Okay, I found out after playing Battletoads, like one day I had my old Nintendo. I'm like, I'm gonna beat this month. I'm gonna beat this game today. I played from 6 a.m. to about I think it was like maybe 11:30, a little before midnight. I played all day, and I'm like, no, I'm getting through this. Dead, start over. I'm getting through this. Start over. Getting through this. Start over. And I did it, and then I finally got to the point where it was like, this game's never gonna end. It just kept going and going and going, and I quit when I couldn't get past this spiral staircase. And I was like, you know what? Screw it, man. Never mind. I'm done. I gave my all. I tried my ass off.
Spoilers. That is how you beat it.
Exactly.
By stopping.
Man, it was like 3-4 years later with the advent of YouTube, and I'm like, you know what, man? There are people that have done speed runs of this and actual playthrough. Let me just see how far I got, and found out that BS spiral staircase I got to, and was just like, screw it. Now, mind you, this is after a full day of play, so I did give it, like, the college try.
Yeah.
Is the second to last level. Like, that's the level you beat to fight that damn queen.
Yep.
To beat the damn man.
Years later, his heart breaks.
So I'm sorry, we have gotten so far off the point of Earth Atlantis, which you say is a good game.
It's a great game.
All right,
thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
$14. If you got a Switch, enjoy it. Use it as a handheld more often, like I do. But you can still, obviously attach the Switch to your TV. But bottoms on, 2 thumbs up. Great game. $14, can't beat the price. Great art style. Great concept. Good luck beating all 38 monsters without progressing and leveling up. You know what I mean?
All right, very
can't
sick.
beat it.
Thank you, brother. All right, now I want to go into, I got to check out this movie, Happy Death Day. I was so freaking jazzed when I walked out of this sucker. Now, I'm not sure if anyone else is familiar with it, but Nix and I were talking about it.
I have not seen the film, but I watched the trailer.
Okay, cool. You want to tell our audiences what you know about the film?
This girl knows she's gonna die. And is this the one where she keeps repeating the day that she dies?
Yes, but she doesn't know she's going to die.
Well, I mean, she does after she dies.
Well, after she dies, yeah.
So basically, this girl gets killed, and she keeps repeating the day, and needs to, not get killed.
So it's a horror film using
more
Groundhog's Day. It's a Groundhog's Day horror film.
It's more of a teen slasher, and after actually seeing it, it has more in common. It definitely, Groundhog Day similarity, but it has more in common with... what's it called? With Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah, okay.
Because it becomes more of a fight-oriented movie, and I love that.
Instead of reliving the entire scene, they shorten it. Like, oh, she decided to do it this way this time.
Exactly, and she's planning to take this sucker out now. She's figuring things out, and then she's attacking the situation.
Was she being a naughty girl?
Well, the whole thing. Let me read the synopsis because it kind of describes it perfectly. One to think. Tree Gelbin wakes up again, and her name is Tree.
Her name is Tree.
Her name is Tree.
Maybe that's why she's repeating
her name is Tree, but she's not a hippie. She's like a sorority girl, and she's really self-centered.
Sorry to interrupt. Her name is Tree.
Her name is Tree. She wakes up again and again on the same day, her birthday, only to be murdered and restart the process until she finds out who killed. Okay, no more talk when I'm giving the breakdown, man. But it's a movie that would seem like, okay, we're gonna watch her do this and she's gonna die. We're gonna watch this, she's gonna die, and then someone's gonna help her, and it's like, no, she takes matters into her own hands. And first she starts just living it up and just going balls to the wall. But then it becomes a fight. It's like, okay, this fool is going to kill me. How do I kill them first? And I love that. I'm like, how many slasher movies are you watching and saying to yourself?
She goes on offense.
Yeah. Like, why are you constantly playing the victim and you're just okay with this? Or you just accept it as an inevitability? She's like, I'm in this situation. Someone's going to kill me. They've killed me repeatedly. I'm going to take them the F out. And she starts hunting.
Do we find out why the day's repeating?
That's the thing we don't find out. Much like Groundhog Day, the aforementioned Groundhog Day, it's just a supernatural event that happens, and it has a trigger. We eventually find out what the trigger is later on in the movie, and that part I thought was freaking cool because it was very unexpected. This movie actually throws you a twist. I'm not. It definitely throws you a twist. And if you know what it is ahead of time, like if someone spoils it for you, you might think it's a MacGuffin. In the moment, though, you have no idea. You're completely oblivious. And I never suspected it once, and I love that. It's very hard to be caught off guard by cinema today.
Yeah.
Everything's been done. You know, I mean, they'll remake old movies, and you'll say, "I've seen this before." I'm calling the shots as they happen, stuff like that. Well, this is you walk in, and you think, "I've seen Groundhog Day and Edge of Tomorrow, hopefully, and I know everything that this movie's going to throw at me." And then it throws you a curve of her reaction. It throws you a curve of the actual twist in this movie. It throws you a curve of who the killer is. Because you think you have it figured out, and then once you realize, oh, I guess not, so now I've got it. And each time they throw you a different curve, and you think you've got the logical one in your head, you'll never see it coming. And I know that might be a spoiler to say that the one you suspect is not the killer, but it's just beautiful when you do.
It'd be great if they had like
learn.
a nemesis system, so if she lobbed off his hand,
You lobbed
off my hand.
Always
I hate you. This was not set in Mordor.
It's just so unfortunate because it would really make so many horror movies so much better.
What if they were set in Mordor?
Well, I mean, I just want everything set in Mordor, but I just mean that nemesis system. Imagine it applied to other things.
like random stuff, and like imagine if you just punched your boss in the face, she comes back and you hops out on the bushes in front of your house.
Well, one interesting facet of this, she does herself retain like damage received from the different killings.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't.
That's
like in the form of scars, or
in the
what?
form of scars, internal damage. Like if this character kept killing her and she hadn't gotten out of the loop, which I mean, spoilers. It's a movie, you know she does. But if she hadn't gotten a loop, she would eventually just like die and not physically be able to come back. Maybe
that's pretty cool.
So it's Groundhog's Day with a timer.
Kind of, and that timer is your body is gradually decaying. You are retaining the damage. You get stabbed. She wakes up with a scar.
Does the killer retain the damage too?
The killer does not retain the damage, and you'll find out why if you go see Happy Death Day. No, this is a Blumhouse movie. We mentioned earlier.
Yeah, you were saying that.
This is the third horror slasher thriller movie they've released this year, and Split was big,
fantastic, actually.
Great Get Out was groundbreaking and blockbusting.
Yeah,
and this one even had a great opening weekend. It was #1 in the box office. Even crushing
successful films
Blade Runner 2049.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
which I didn't see that.
Kind of expected for Blade Runner.
Well, you didn't like Blade Runner.
No, we talked about it. I love it.
We talked
I
about
love that
Blade
movie.
Okay.
But for this movie, is it horror? So there's many different subcategories of horror. Is this a horror that leans heavily on the gore, leans heavily on the thriller? Is it an action horror?
This one leans more on suspense. It's definitely an action horror for the latter half of the movie, but it leans more towards suspense because it throws a lot of red herrings at you. It's just like the killer has a particular look, kind of like Ghostface in the Scream movies.
Yep.
But that's also a common garb around campus, and that part's never explained. That really bugged me at the end because I'm just like, okay, I see what you're doing, and I understand why you're doing it, but why this? You know? But in the end, you stop caring. Like, that's the thing, that this movie wins you over by just being good, by just being entertaining. Parts of it are really funny.
That's all you need. Like, is it a good movie? Did you walk out being like, man, I'm glad I watched that?
Yeah, it was definitely one of those where it's like, I'm not going in expecting Shakespeare, and I'm walking out just like, yes!
That off loveth my handeth off.
That's not how they talk. I would highly recommend Happy Death Day. It's a movie with a relatively new cast of people. It's really well directed. It's really well acted. You believe all the characters. You get into the story and you like it, and it's satisfying by the end.